1971, a military analyst, Daniel Ellsberg, was chosen to work on a top-secret study about U.S. military involvement in Vietnam. This study was commissioned by the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Robert S. McNamara, and came to be known as the Pentagon Papers. Ellsberg, believing everyone should know about the numerous contained government lies, made copies of the Pentagon Papers and handed them over to the New York Times and Washington Post to publish. Daniel Ellsberg found that the information on the Vietnam War was necessary for the people to know. This ultimately led to the U.S. government, along with Nixon, to see it as a threat to national security.
This is preposterous. You! Get me Times on the phone immediately. I want to have everyone that's involved with this prosecuted. You! Get me Daniel Ellsberg. I want him charged with theft, conspiracy, and every other goddamn thing I can get on him. Now you see my sense of urgency, but why aren't you guys moving?
Mr. President, what causes you to blow this out of proportion?
Out of proportion? Do you not see the gravity of this situation? This is a threat to national security.
But sir, don't you think the people should know? After all, it is their children we're sending out to be killed, and in numerous quantities. And apropos to the New York Times, does the Constitution not grant them freedom of the press?
This is classified information we are talking about. This cannot fall into the hands of the people. I'm taking this to the courts. I must invoke prior restraint.
Under the First Amendment, freedom of the press is granted, and in this case applied to New York Times. Nixon tries to exercise prior restraint, which gives him the power to prevent harmful material from publication.
The stories published in the New York Times propose a diplomatic disaster on a nationwide scale.
How exactly are these papers going to cause a diplomatic disaster?
Well, how can we expect other countries to talk to us with confidence if top-secret information like this can get leaked?
So does this make it more difficult for the president to govern?
If the president can't keep secrets, then he can't govern. Nothing less than the integrity of the presidency is at stake here.
Within these Pentagon papers, we find out about the covert ops, guaranteed debt, rigged elections, it's all in there. Ike, Kennedy, Johnson, they all look like liars who fooled Congress, blindfolded the public, while taking their children out to fight in a pointless war.
My opinion remains unchanged. These papers will slander reliability within the executive. They will jeopardize foreign affairs, and they will destroy the relationship we have between our people and our government.
How can we expect these things to happen? The more things we keep from them, the more likely the nation will fall apart in the future at the hands of our lies and secrets. Invoking prior restraint is of ill use, as with the publications, the U.S. does not find itself in an extreme situation as to prevent the release of the truth. There is nothing morally right about people's children dying by the thousands in vain.
The U.S. Supreme Court ended up dismissing President Nixon's claim of prior restraint. The decision ended with a 6-3 ruling in favor of the New York Times.
In the First Amendment, our founding fathers gave the free press the protection it must have to fulfill its essential role in our democracy. The press was to serve the governed, not the governor.